Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm a 737 pilot and a member of PMDG's tech team. Welcome to my second live stream in the A310, and on this one we are using my very first self-painted livery, which is the German Air Force or the Luftwaffe livery. Now, this one is still a little bit of work in progress, but I'm in the process of uploading it to flightsim.to right now, so that you have a very first version available in case you do want to use it yourself. And Lord Vapormax, yes, absolutely, we will be flying this one on VATSIM. A few small comments on using this livery on VATSIM though. Keep in mind, on VATSIM it is not allowed to fly any kind of military operation unless you are part of special operations organizations, so we will have to fly this one as basically a normal civil flight, which however is how they are operating these politician transports anyway. So after all, we are operating this one in a realistic manner, even though it does mean that we will not be doing military operations. So I just want to clarify that one straight away, as I do find it really important to take note of this. Also, a quick comment since yesterday's hanging of the panel state. Those of you who have seen yesterday's live stream will know what I'm talking about. That problem is indeed kind of confirmed right now as to be related due to the weather uplinks that we used, so I do expect this not to happen anymore if we don't uplink any weather, but we'll see about how well or not this is actually going to work. So, with all of that said and done, I do have to admit that it took me a little bit longer to actually upload this livery to flightsim.to than I actually expected. So before we are going to start setting up the airplane, I quickly have to convert 3 photos to finally upload the livery for you guys. So just give me a second and we will be straight there, because I do want you to have the livery available in case you want to use it yourself. So what I'm just about to do, taking the screenshots I've taken and converting those. Because unfortunately my screen turned out to be a little bit too big for flightsim.to to support it, and therefore that led to the direct results that I could not upload the screenshots I've taken. So my apologies for that, and my apologies for taking a little bit longer with the live stream, but I promise we will be there in a few moments. And start our flight by then. So what else is there to say? I hope that many of you have seen yesterday's live stream with my first look. And for those of you who did, thank you very much for joining. For those of you who didn't, I will go over some of the basics of the A310 once again in today's live stream, primarily because I'm actually still learning this airplane myself. So don't be surprised there if I am going about some of the basic details once again, because, you know, learning a new airplane and such does take a little bit of time and isn't all that easy. Okay, anyway, Ronnie, where did you find the livery? I painted it myself, and I'm in the process of actually uploading it myself. So it will be on flightsim.to momentarily, I hope. It is my very first upload, so let's see. So let's see how that is going to work, but I believe I did all my settings correctly, so let's give it a try. And click the upload button. And Pushback, going on VATSIM today, yes, absolutely. So it looks like the upload is completed, looks like we are all set and ready to go now. So let's have a look into our actual aircraft and what we are going to do today. This is our ride of the day, and as someone correctly pointed out in the forums already, this is of course not meant as a VIP transport aircraft, but the Luftwaffe primarily used it for troop transport. However, there have been quite a couple of cases where they transported politicians with them as well. That's why I do judge today's mission profile to be acceptable in terms of realism. Now, what are we gonna do then? The base for the aircraft is Cologne-Bonn Airport. However, since the majority of the German government is based in Berlin, that means we'll have to fly our airplane over to Berlin to pick up our passengers. And then from Berlin, we'll fly them to Brussels, to the European Parliament, and then we'll take our aircraft back. So that's the plan for today. And since a couple of you asked yesterday, yes, I have in the meantime set up a SimBrief profile. Thank you very much for providing the link. And what else is there to say? Not a lot really. Let's put this thing to live weather. And let's head straight into our aircraft. In the meantime, we just about have to wait for flightsim.to to pen approval for the repaint, and then we will have that one live for you guys as well, so that you can download the livery. So it's all uploaded now, just comes down to the team at flightsim.to, how long it's gonna take them, and that's pretty much it. So let's head straight into our aircraft. Here we are, and for the procedures, once again, I am still learning the A310 as well, so I'm kind of doing it straight from the paper into our flight deck. So don't be surprised if things are a little bit slower than they usually are. This airplane is just as new to me as it is to all of you guys. So we have a cold and dark panel. Let's do a little bit of weight and balance stuff. For our flight today, we are using the 1024. This one. Now that is German military registrations, so don't be surprised if you don't see like a proper aircraft registration on here. This is actually all as it is intended to be. And that is pretty much that part. So, for the actual weight and balance, we are flying on VATSIM. They do have an event going in Berlin right now, but that ends in 50 minutes, so we'll probably miss it. So I think we are good to go. Zero payload, because we are flying the airplane over empty. And for the fuel, we will be taking 9 tons of fuel. Wow, that is quite an amount for such a route. That is really quite an amount for such a route. Anyway, so we're gonna apply this one. And that's pretty much our setup completed. Not a lot of stuff to do for GSX, because we will, well, not board anybody. So that's all our setup done. Then let's go ahead. Batteries on. Hydraulic panel, check all pumps are off, wiper switches are off, landing gear lever down, slat flap handle matches the indication, reverser levers down, fuel levers off, APU fire test. Okay. Okay, APU fire test completed, external power if available on. And we do have it available. And we don't need the APU quite yet. IRS is go on. And oxygen can go on as well. Annunciator light test. Oops, that one. Okay, and all the lights are working. Very good, radius as required. Then we go on to the FMC. Very important, by the way, guys. Make sure that either you are using the default flight simulator nav data, or that you are using the latest Navigraph data. Don't use any outdated data, because that would cause crashes to desktop with this one. So either use the latest flight simulator data or use the latest Navigraph data. And people ask, no, I have never been in the German army. But I do know someone who knows someone who in turn did fly these very aircraft here. So yeah, that's why I kind of got a little bit of an idea about the exact operation that these guys are doing. Okay, so A310, CF6 engines, database is up to date. Let's go to init ref. We're going from Cologne to Berlin. Don't have a company route for this, but that's fine, and align IRS. Okay, so we'll leave it there initially and do the rest of our flight deck checks. So, no smoking. Auto, seatbelts on, hydraulic panel. We do see those lights and they're all switched on. Going further up here, those lights are all normal. Flight recorder can go into the ground control mode. Then moving down here from the lights, strobes to auto, nav and logo to 1. And beware with those pitch trim switches over here. You do need them later on in order to light up your FCU. So that's something that I ran into yesterday on a live stream, where I was rather unsure about why that didn't light up. But in order to turn the pitch trim on, you need your IRSs to be aligned. And then you can switch the pitch trim on, and when the pitch trim is on, then the FCU is going to light up. So that's an interesting logic there. Apart from that, everything here is extinguished. The electrical indicators set to emergency and essential. Then we go down here, wipers off, APU off, ignition off. We can turn all the pumps on since our refueling is finished. The cross feed is off and the green lines are showing for every single engine. Can do a CBR test, but we don't have to. It's not part of the SOP as far as I could see. Then pressurization set to system number 1, the rate limiter in normal. Indications, 0 differential pressure. Why is the vertical speed descending? That doesn't make sense. And we are on the airport elevation. Windshield heat can go on. So, with the probe heat, that's still a little bit interesting thing here. When I'm looking into the manual, it actually tells me that the probe heat switches should be turned on now. But that doesn't really make a lot of sense. But anyway, the manual says we put them on, then we just put them on. Cargo compartment smoke detection is armed. Oxygen crew pressure is on. Let's do our engine fire test as well. Okay, those are all in auto. Then, moving down here, emergency lights armed, annunciators have been tested and bright, APU bleed off for now, that means cross bleed is closed and we don't see the lines up here. We can certainly put the packs in the econ flow since we have no passengers on board. And that is all set, okay. Let's move on then. I will today not use the Oh, outdoor SAP, is the flight overlay buggy? That's a good question. Yeah, it is buggy. Lovely. That should be better. It was actually me. I've done an incorrect setting. My apologies for that. But it is all corrected now. Oops. Okay, here we go. Nope. Here we go. Boy, it's not my day handling that streaming software. Not my day. Michael, how do I like the A310? Well, my first impression is that for as long as it doesn't hang up, it seems to be quite fine. But ask me again after we've completed today's flights, because after, well, 1.5 flights that I've done so far, I don't really want to give any comments there. But let's go on with the system setup. Flight directors are on the map mode. We'll take the VOR display. The same goes for the other side. Decision height, well, we can only do that once. They are finished over here. Let's go on with the rest of the panel then. So, for our departure, Cologne. My apologies for not uplinking the weather for the FMC, but we have seen what that can cause on yesterday's live stream, and actually Inibuilds confirmed that already on their Discord, so we are not gonna touch the weather request in the FMC. Anyway, the time is correct, standby altimeter set, anti-skid on, auto brakes off. For the computer we need the IRSs aligned, brake fan is off. Landing gear system tested. The VORs and everything can stay like they are right now. Let's see if we have any traffic control online, but I don't think so at this time of the day. Nope, nobody online, so Unicom, and on the second one we'll take the guard frequency. Standard IFR squawk, and we'll set our TCAS to above. Left transponder since the left pilot is flying, and that is pretty much our setup completed. Alright, so then we can continue with our FMC. So, Cologne to Berlin, that is in, our alternate is gonna be Leipzig. Cost index, unfortunately SimBrief doesn't support them yet, so let's go 30. The German taxpayers got money after all. Flight level 310, and we are the German Air Force 516. Cruise wind 205 at 17. Then flight plan. Sit, 1 for left, and we are going over the Port departure. So Port 1 Quebec. Insert. Then, from Port we fly via Yankee 867 towards Whiskey Romeo Bravo. From there we join Papa 12 to Bartel. And from Bartel, Tango 207 Akbar. Finally in Berlin, expecting runway 25 in use, so let's plan 25 right, since that's the site where the government terminal is. And we will take the Akbar 25 right arrival. Insert. Okay, so, then, performance data, init, next page, block fuel, 9 tons, 0 fuel weight, we have that up here is 80.2, and we have a CG of 27.9. (310) planned, 410 optimum. Extra time is indicating 0. Well, okay, but we certainly have sufficient fuel on board. I'm adding all that up. We do have sufficient fuel on board, yes. Okay, then let's go ahead and calculate our takeoff data. It is. So, takeoff run available, 3587 for an intersection departure. The runway is dry, runway QDM 136. Current winds, well, the most conservative is 09086. Temperature 14 and 1031. Okay, takeoff weight, that's 89.2. Flaps, let's take the first setting, anti-ice off, air conditioning on. Let's calculate. 59 degrees flex, 38, 38, and 65. Wow, that is quite a V2. Okay, so in order to put that in, the IRS is aligned by now. So 165 in here, and then we have 138, 138. Okay, and the acceleration altitudes are gonna be 1,000 feet each, so 1,300 and 1,300. Okay, that is the FMC setup complete as far as I'm aware. With one exception. Flex takeoff, and we go to 59 degrees. So, flex takeoff 59. Alright, that is our setup complete now. Bone King 1, any idea how the nav data can be updated? Yes, it uses the standard Flight Simulator nav data, so just use Navigraph to update Microsoft Flight Simulator itself. Or don't use Navigraph at all, because Microsoft Flight Simulator does update itself automatically. So they do have IRACs as well, which aren't of the same quality as Navigraphs, but they are absolutely sufficient for what we are doing with it, so that would be your other option. Okay, so everything here is set up, then let's do a departure briefing. Threats for the departure, well, we're still not 100% familiar with the aircraft, so that's a bit of a threat there. On top of that, we're flying through uncontrolled airspace, as there is currently no air traffic control online in Cologne, which means we'll have to do our Unicom calls, have a look outside the window. I don't want to trust the TCAS before I've seen it in action, so I'm not going to rely on that, but we'll rather rely on Unicom telling us what's going on. Okay, and that is pretty much it. Then, let's see. Aircraft is in a good shape, the weather is okay, and we have no NOTAMs affecting our flight. Going from Cologne to Berlin via the PODIP 1 Quebec departure. Pushback is with a nose to the right hand side, and then we'll taxi along the runway 14 left, which is basically along here, cross the runway, and then we go to the other side to depart from the longer runway. Alpha 5 intersection is calculated. Let's do a quick cross-check of our SID then. We will be using the PODIP 1 Quebec departure. We do have a chart for that. Unfortunately, I can't really get it on screen since I have the new Navigraph app installed, so my apologies for that. Anyway, the routing is leading us straight ahead. Do we have plan mode here? Yes, we do. Very good. Okay, so the routing is leading us straight ahead, Delta Kilo 920 above 1120. Then a slight left turn, Delta Kilo 921. Max 205 knots above 1640, then 096 degrees, 4 miles to Delta Kilo 922 above 3000 feet, then same track, 9.6 miles inbound to Kola, and then it's a left hand turn 040, 12.8 towards PODIP. And initial climb is to an altitude of 5000 feet, and that pretty much completes our setup. So 5,000 feet can go in here. Alright. And they set DH to -5. Perfect, so we're done. Any questions on the departure briefing? No, okay, very good. Then we can go ahead and start our checklist. So, before start checklist. Cockpit preparation completed, signs, on and auto, fuel quantity, 9,000 kilograms, navigation, check set, landing elevation, 200 feet set, altimeters, 1031 reading 240, and brake any skid, normal and on. Cockpit preparation checklist completed. So let's fire up the APU. Master switch on, fuel pump is on, and start.
Lone traffic, Radis Air 1213, ready check?
Okay, it probably takes a little while. Do we have a display for that? Yes, we do. Oh, it's running already. That's what it looks like. It's not generating any power. Ah, no, it's actually on 0. But we did press the starter, so it should start up any moment, I guess. In the meantime, GSX takes ages anyway, so let's about get them ready. Prepare for pushback and departure. Handling from Visak. Kokota, no tail strike please. I'll try my best. Alright, and here the APU is finally firing. People ask, you are the Radis Air, so where are you? Probably somewhere among the passenger terminals, I guess. Because we're standing right in front of the government terminal over here. This is where the state of Germany checks in pretty much anybody who gets transported. From Cologne, that is.
Angela traffic, Delta Fox Alpha Romeo Lima, lining up runway 11.
Okay, they're ready to go. Then nose to the right-hand side, please. And then APU generator seems to be generating, but let me double check that. Yeah, it's available. Okay.
Alpha Romeo Lima taking off runway 11.
Next on a park and go.
Right turn, direct Rhein, and
you gentlemen can remove anything. Prepare for pushback and departure.
Airport. Angela traffic.
That didn't sound good. Well, before they mess us over, I have a feeling I really rather release the park and brake. Okay, let's do the before start procedure then. So, lovely Airbus, it's pretty much only beacon and APU bleed. So, before start checklist below the line. What is it doing now? Is this stock? Heh. Lovely. Come on. So, before start checks. Looks like I have to hold it. Windows and doors closed, beacon on, park and brake set, before start checklist complete. Okay, well, if that's all we can do, then that's all we can do. So, area behind is clear, and We do still not have any ATC online. Okay, park and brake released. Off we go. Look at that vertical speed. Good job, GSX. Very good job. Profile and nav modes armed. Let's see if they at least push us into the right direction. In the meantime, starting engine number 2. Starter to A and start 2. And 2. I'm not even looking outside. I'll let myself be surprised wherever GSX is gonna end that pushback. All pressure and 1. We have 20%. Barry, we are going to fly towards Berlin. Okay, start a cutout and starting engine number 1. And 2. And 1. Oil pressure 20%. Okay.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
When I'm looking up from those engine instruments now, where are we gonna be? Are we gonna be on the taxiway, or will they have pushed us into anywhere? Let's see. No comment. Good job. Good job.
Pendular
Oh boy.
Delta Fox Alpha Romeo Lima, passing Sierra
Are they at
1
least removing
at
themselves now?
1,200 feet, final
Yeah,
call.
seems like it. Okay, they are working, that's good. Pushback tug with a Visa logo on it. And they are working. That I would ever see this in my life. So, ignition off, APU bleed, off, APU master, off, anti-ice, off, speed brake, armed, slats and flaps, into the 15 position, and set takeoff trim. So that is going to be 0.4 up, like this. And for the after start checklist, guys, I've just pulled it over to my tablet now because that thing just is hanging around, so I'm just gonna read it right from my tablet. Makes things easier. Pitch trim, set, rudder trim, 0, slats, flaps, 15, 15. Ecam status checked, any eyes off, hand signal. Oh, she's running away, she's got a pin in the hands, that's gotta do it for us. After start checklist complete. Clear left, and wait clear right. Nose light on, turn off lights on, brake off. Let's go. Plane starts moving by itself, but we had a pretty light weight, so that is kinda expected. Brakes checked, pressure 0.
From ground, Lufthansa 9 Mike Tango 16 for runway 14 left, 2 Mike at altitude.
MSFS Delta Hotel Tango, make a right turn 1,600 feet.
Hello, traffic, German Air Force 516, crossing runway 14 right.
Hello, traffic, Radis Air 1213, taxi on bound runway 1 for left.
Clear on the right, nobody on Tango.
Hello, traffic, Delta Foxtrot Alpha Romeo Lima, Kilo 2, 1,700 feet.
So, maximum 200 tons, crossing the
Hello,
taxiway
traffic,
bridge up here.
Dynamic Tango, takeoff runway 1 for left.
Okay. Then let's do the flight control track. Full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, and we'll assume the radar
German Air Force,
checks.
go first.
Please confirm German Air Force 516 is number 1.
A-firm, yeah.
Thank you. German Air Force 516, we're taxiing Alpha 7. Which is the one straight ahead here.
Okay, more traffic, just be advised. There is some traffic south of the departure sector of runway 14.
Maybe the VFR guy? Okay, so FCU glacial set, auto brakes
Yes,
max,
that's A-firm, we are the VFR guys.
speed brake arm, transponder, on weather radar,
Hello,
on
traffic, listen to
traffic.
Dynamic Tango airborne runway 1 for left.
It's checked. Okay, so before takeoff checklist down to the line. Flight controls, check, briefing, confirm,
Radis Air
sled flaps,
123, land speed via 1 for left.
1515, performance FMAs. All set, we have takeoff power 96%,
Tango 2,700
and climb modes are on. Takeoff config check, transponder set, before takeoff checklist complete down to the line. So, who's just announced their takeoff? They should be... Oh, behind us, okay. Lone traffic, German Air Force 516, lining up and takeoff runway 14 left, to make 1 Quebec departure. Okay, so that stuff is all going on.
Ground traffic, Delta Foxtrot Lima, left the control zone via Kilo
So, below
1
the line, cabin
and-
secure, TCAS, Tara, packs on, ignition off, anti-ice off, before takeoff checklist complete. So, let's try our luck. Timing. Stabilized.
Ground traffic, Radis Air 123,
Takeoff
lining up
thrust.
on a 1 for left.
Takeoff thrust set, indications normal. 100 knots. V1, rotate. And gear up. Auto freight. Flight director seems a little interesting there. Yeah, that flight director seems really interesting there. Okay, time to accelerate, even though the flight director says different. Flaps up. And slats retract. Speed limit 205 knots for the initial turn from the SID. We have to abide that.
Printer base Delta Hotel Tango at Kilo 2, leave between the airspace via...
Nice rate of climb here. 5,000 feet a minute. Okay, set standard. Passing 40, climbing 140 after takeoff checklist.
Perfect. Radar 120 heavy, taking off on the 1 for left.
Flap slats, retracted, landing gear. Up, packed. On altimeter, standard after takeoff checklist complete. Okay, we're past 921, so we can accelerate 250 knots. I'm flying it a little bit outside of the flight director here, but that's just because the flight director seems very unresponsive, which is actually what IndyBuild has set themselves on their Discord, which would be what the real plane would be. Now, I find that kind of hard to believe that an airplane would have such a bad flight director, but if they say so, then I'm not type rated on the 310, so I can't really comment on it. Okay, passing below 100. Accelerate first. Well, first fly the aircraft, 10 checks next. And let's go all the way up to cruise level 310. Set. And 310 blue.
Balloon, perfect. Radar 123, come P0.
And onto the autopilot. So let's do the autopilot. Let's have the autopilot do its work. So in the meantime, lights retracted and off. Signs off. That will at least let our cabin crew go, even though we don't have any passengers on board on this one. Let's go direct to payload. Insert. Actually, let's go direct to Warburg VOR, Whiskey Romeo Bravo. That is where they normally send you in real life when you're departing into this direction. By the way, is it only me or is the default zoom level really far out? Let me quickly go into the menu. General options, camera, and put that a little bit in. Like this looks better, I believe. Oh, we can zoom in even a little bit further, so let's just go 60 as default. Yeah, that certainly looks a bit better. Patch, we are flying towards Berlin, and the reason we are not carrying any passengers here is because we are flying transport aircraft from the German Air Forces, which is based in Cologne. We're flying it over to Berlin to pick up some politicians and a delegation, and then we'll bring them over to Brussels to the European Parliament. So that's our mission for the day. And then we'll probably fly our aircraft back. Depending on the amount of time that we have available by that time, we'll either bring some politicians back to Berlin or we'll directly position over to Cologne. We'll see about that. Yeah, that's interesting. Looks like I forgot to paint the aft part of the flap fairings. And of course that's stuff that you hardly see when you just look at the airplane on the ground. My apologies for that. We'll have it corrected. Okay, and memo. Tut in icing range. Well, we are not gonna pick up any icing on this one. Certainly not. And Magoo, you are absolutely correct. They just couldn't take the train, but they have to waste all that fuel. That's actually how it goes in Germany. The aircraft of the politician transport fleet, the Flugbereitschaft, are mostly based in Cologne. Some of them are based in Berlin as well, but since the ministries are split over Bonn and Berlin, that basically means that the fleet is split as well, but the main hub is Cologne. And whenever they need to transport a politician somewhere, 2 planes go empty from Cologne to Berlin, pick them up, fly them somewhere, and then 2 planes go empty back to base to Cologne. So that gives you at least 5 empty flights in order to transport a single politician. That's how effective we Germans are. Now somebody talk about paying taxes once again. Jajo Miner, how did I paint delivery? Well, I used paint.net and modified some I used paint.net and took a white default livery, which I then adjusted and painted mine over it. So not the really, well, not the really agile way, but well, I just wanted to get it done and I couldn't figure out how to paint this aircraft in Blender because it's just showing 100,000 different models and I couldn't find which ones to paint on. That's why I went that way then. To get it to the state where it currently is, including all the experimenting, took me maybe, I don't know, like 4 hours, 5 hours-ish. And vertical speed, oh well, old stuff. Okay. So 15 degrees angular bank. And we're about to level off. Okay, and here we are. So, quick look into the SimBrief operational flight plan. Which we should have available now. Yes, here it is. So, we are supposed to reach our cruise level after 8 minutes, 310, and we are supposed to have 6,900 kilos of fuel on board. Well, for the time, if I'm totally honest, I just about deleted the timer, so not really possible to lock that up, but we're 20 minutes on the way now. We certainly took a little while on the taxi, so that is kinda okay. And for the fuel, we have 7 tons on board. We're supposed to have 6,920, so very nice fuel usage. Good job on the SimBreathe profile for any builds. Very good job. Okay, can we put that thing back into profile? Yes, we can. So here we are up on the cruise level. Now, the manual says check that CR is the active mode, which it is. Econ memo status page, review. And system pages, review progressively, flight progress monitor. Okay, so standard cruising stuff, nothing special over here. Let's do that. Let's have a quick look into the different econ pages once again. We have our engine page, which pretty much shows us everything in the normal. Hydraulics, looking all good as well, at least as far as I can tell. Not that I would claim to be an expert on the A310's hydraulic system. AC generators are powering. They are standard buses. On the DC side of things, similar, the transformer rectifiers are powering the normal bus, and from there we have our line to the essential bus. Fleet, all working, all normal. Air conditioning, 23 degrees all over the plane. That's nice. Very good temperature to maintain. Cabin pressure. What's that? Differential pressure 0.4. Cabin altitude 250. Okay. Looks like the aircraft didn't pressurize. Well, but we talked about the pressurization system yesterday already. So the bleed valves are on, the packs are on, and just yesterday we saw already that this is basically in-op. So there is no way the cabin altitude could have stayed down here. What happens if I put that off and on? Nothing. Okay. Well, fine. We're gonna survive. In real life we probably wouldn't, but I don't care. Not for the purpose of this simulation. At least not for a problem that we discussed in yesterday's live stream. Fuel, APU shut down. Flight controls, all normal. Doors, they better be closed by now. And finally the wheels. Why are the wheels so incredibly hot? How did they get to 175 degrees? I didn't do any excessive braking or so. I mean, to heat them up that much. Well, it's not worth a rejected takeoff, but you know, to heat them up that much, you would really need to apply a lot of braking, which we certainly didn't. On top of that, our aircraft's empty, so... well... Anyway, I guess we'll have to live with it as it is right now. And patch, yes, the A310 is very loud on my system as well. Yannick, I haven't tried the Beaver yet, no. And MG King, where's the toga button on this aircraft? Over here. It took a while yesterday to search for it, but over here it is. That's what the toga button is. Not sure why it's giving me these interesting indications up on the flight deck here. That is definitely not related to my replane. Those shadows aren't in there. Neil, it does not have CPDLC, and they don't plan to add it either. Gene, do I recommend to go to an expensive flight school in Western Europe or a cheap one, for example, in Greece? Well, to be honest, I I'm not 100% sure. Like, you can very well see the difference in, let's say, the level of knowledge when you talk to someone who's coming from a flight school in Western Europe versus from a flight school in Southeastern Europe or Northeastern. Just for the matter of fact. So, yeah, it's not 100%. I don't know. Honestly, if you have the money, I would always prefer a good Western flight school over, you know, over something cheap. After all, you're doing it for a reason, if you know what I mean. And Pat, yes, I am European. I'm German, to make it exact. Jamal, how do we set the trim correctly? You don't have a trim indication on the ECAM as far as I'm aware, but you can see it down here. You have the scale next to your trim wheel. So right now it's on 2 down. And you can use that in order to set your trim. So it's not a very long flight, so let's just go ahead and do a little bit of setting up already. The discon can certainly go, and we want to pass. Give me that plan mode, please. So 433 at, let's say, 6,000 feet. Let's use that. Okay, and that should give us a better top of descent now. Can we see that anywhere up here? No, it just has cruise without info. You can cruise. Okay, forecast winds. Well, that's a good idea. We could certainly enter our forecast winds. So let's see, level 310, 236 at 18. Then we have level 200, 223 at 15. And we have level 100, 316 at 3. And the wind on the ground, I am, just for the record once again, I'm not going to get my, I'm not going to use the HOTAS uplink, because that is known to cause the instruments to quit out like we had it happen yesterday. So be aware. with that. Be aware. Okay, the ground wind variable at 1, so we're just gonna leave that blank. That's good enough for me. And we have a contact me from Bremen, 124175. Throttle, German Air Force 516, flight level 310, inbound Hillingen.
German Air Force 516, Finland, hello, identified, squawk 1000, descent level 25, to reach Advantage.
Squawk 1000, descent 250 to reach Advantage, German Air Force 516.
Zu dem Tag die Radius Air 1000, flight level 350.
And then we have Hotel.
Squawk 1000. Radius Air 120.
Why is it starting the descent already? Just because I'm pre-selected? That's interesting. Anyway. Can I not go into the vertical revision page anymore? Oh, I can't. Well, okay. Let's not mess with it, we'll just do it manually then. So, vertical speed 1500, and you can go up 290 knots and remain there, please. Looks like we need...
German Air Force 516, Arthur, Hotel, Cockpit.
German Air Force 516, Hotel, Cockpit. Okay, so Hotel, Order point not allowed.
2500 feet, sorry, 2500 greater, Radius Air 120.
That's better.
Okay.
Let's try that once more. I want to get that restriction in. Ah, now we can access the page. Oh, not sure why it's doing it that way, but in the end, fine for me as well. So, Hotel level 250 below. That's fine. Destination weather then, we have runway 25 in use, 1033, wind light and variable, CAF OK, 14 degrees. Okay, so we'll plan for 25, right? Which means course 245, frequency. Well, let's get the course in first.
Good day, MS 190 with flight level 160 heading to Oluma.
Minimum is going to be 345 feet.
Climb back level 270, MS 190.
So, MDA 345, we're going to use a flap 30 landing. And we are going to be very slow on final approach, which we'll tell ATC on the approach. That should be pretty much it.
Unicom, stop. Ja, Unicom hattest du das Malaysia, das ist noch nicht so was.
Bei den Gates, mein Papa muss direkt Data Bravo vorlegen.
And the auto brake low, that, yeah, that should be our setup, I believe. So maintaining 250, let's see if we can.
German Air Force 516, direct Delta Bravo 433, descent flight at 120.
German Air Force 516, direct Delta Bravo 433, descent flight level 120. Set. 120 checked. And direct 433, insert.
Dr. Bartel,
That one's in at
Delta
5,000 feet.
gerade der 120.
But I'm wondering if I can somehow tell it to go back into cruise mode now, so that we get a new proper descent. Let's try that. Yep, that's perfect. Here's our proper descent. Let's see, it wants to use around 60 miles to go down. Yep, that looks about right. So that is working quite well. So far, so good. Let's see if we can pull this out. Yes. Also good. Oh boy, didn't I say that I did not want to play with the FMC? And now see what I'm doing. So let's see, can we... German Air Force 516, descent flight level 120. It's quite early, but if they want to know, if they want us to do that. Vertical speed 1000.
Clement Vader, here Condor 1 to Mike Lima at flight level 150, climbing to 160, inbound or direct RSUP with you.
That's interesting. How did it go to level change? As opposed to being
Condor 1 to
okay,
Mike
so pull it goes to
Lima,
level change. Okay.
passing flight level 160.
Then let's just about do that ourselves.
RSUP with you. Climb flight level 210 for Condor 1 to Mike Lima.
World 19 report, helicopter
122.8 to pilot reply.
Stand 10, Radisson 120.
Patch, I am flying on an online network called VATSIM, and over there real persons can log in as air traffic controllers. Just like real persons log in as pilots as well. So that's how we get the ATC here. And Sailor Sons, I painted the livery myself. I have uploaded it to flightsim.to already, but since it is my very first upload, they have to review it before it becomes publicly visible. That's why it's probably taking a little bit of time. As soon as they have reviewed it, I am going to share the link with you. And then you can download it yourself as well. It is still work in progress. So, for example, the flap fairings up here, I just noticed it on this flight, are only half painted. There is still a little bit of white on the engines over here. And finally, something that maybe you guys as the community could find out, that is back here on the tail, there is a little slogan below the flag of Germany. I couldn't find any picture that was close up enough that I could find out what exactly is written there. So for my paint, I just put the general slogan of the Bundeswehr in. But that might probably not be accurate. German Air Force 516, say again.
German Air Force 516, descent at 1,500 feet per minute or greater.
German Air Force 516, descent at 1,500 or greater. Okay, 1,500 feet a minute is in.
Confirmed call center is fly bus. Confirmed call center is fly bus. 07 Roger, identified, and maintain flight level 25.
And Super Grumpy, how's the performance for me? Well, a little bit worse than it is, for example, in the PMDG or in the Phoenix. But overall it is, yeah, it is definitely on the performance heavy side of things, but it's not all that bad as well. So it is kinda alright.
125450.
Yannick, I think it says something like Luftwaffe A310, but not 100% sure. If you can find out, if you can find any pictures, that would be highly appreciated, because I couldn't find any. And hi Metal Eye, nice to see you. Sailor Sons, no, they didn't tell me how long it usually takes until it's published. So I have absolutely no idea. I'm keeping an eye on it. So seeing that there are quite many liveries for the 310 published already, I believe it's probably not going to take too long, but 126, no 425, German Air Force 516, cheers.
Contact.
Over descent 4000 feet, unit 1033.
4000,
Berlin arrival low, German Air Force 516, passing level 183, descending level 120, 1500 or greater, information Oscar.
German Air Force 516, same radar identified, expect alle support runway 25 right, information Oscar current, descent flight level 100.
Expect ILS 25 right, information Oscar, descent flight level 100, German Air Force 516.
Boarding 8 McCover, maintain present heading.
Maintain present heading, Boarding 8 McCover.
Boarding 8 McCover, are you able to accept a short approach out of 3000 feet and 10 miles final?
Yeah, we can try it.
We can try it. That is always the right spirit, I think. Freak Slayer brought the analog King Air yesterday from Just Flight, but still didn't get an email with the download. Is it normal to take that long? It's definitely not normal. Normally you should have it straight away. Log into your Just Flight account and see if you can find the download in there. Because even if you didn't get the email, which might very well be in your spam folder, but even if you didn't get the email, then just you might still have it in your shop account. Yannick, I found a pic, it says Airbus A310-300. Can send it to you on Discord if you want. Yes, please do so. And SPO2K, in order to get into the livery, into the cabin, you just need the thing from the marketplace. That should pretty much be it. Patch, where's the autopilot button? That is over here.
127, speed 280 not rotator. On a 595, proceed direct, question when after passing 5,000 feet, proceed direct Kugel.
So, seatbelts on.
Welling 8 map cover, turn left heading 330, descent 3,000 feet.
Left 330, descent 3000 feet, Welling 8 line cover. And confirm any service bridges for us.
Welling 8 map cover, negative.
Guten Tag, Radistai 1213, descending flight level 120 with speed 280.
Aeronautic 1213, Bremen radar identified, expect alle support runway 25 left, information Oscar current, descent flight level 100.
Oscar correct, we have Oscar on board, so I don't know that. Descending 100, Radistai 1213 heavy.
I like how he insists on that heavy. If the controller doesn't look up his correct call sign, because he just used something else.
1213 confirm, you expect alle support runway 25 left.
Yes, I'm expecting 25 left, Radistai 1213.
Berlin 2127, descent flight level 60. German Air Force 519er, speed 250 knots, descent flight level 60.
He's at 519, not 516. Confirm that's for German Air Force 516.
Sorry, yes, German Air Force 516, speed 250 knots, descent flight level 60.
Speed 250 knots, descent flight level 60, German Air Force 516.
Running 8 map out, turn left 220,
Okay,
clear
let's
altitude
go to
1
level change.
right.
And set 60 checked.
Left 220.
Let's see how well the 310 slows down. Those old aircraft usually slow down really well. But then again, I'm saying old, and in case you didn't notice yet, the airframe is pretty much the same as it is on the A330, just with different wings on it. But the overall front section exactly the same.
Descent flight level 80 and speed 250 knots.
Start Hater, this is speed 250, looks others have 120.
Departure, good day, Eurowings A3 Victor Kilo, passing 1700.
During the 8 Victor Kilo frame radar identified, climb flight level 160.
Flight level 160, Eurowings A3 Victor Kilo.
Wow, the thing. That's what I meant. Look at that. Doing 250 knots and the thing descends at almost 2,500 feet a minute.
Running 8 map cover, contact tower 120.025.
Let's go vertical speed again. Don't need to go down that quick, that
Another 595, contact frame radar 124.175.
Okay, 10 checks. Belts on, lights on. A view off, bank angle normal, and that's it.
And radar, wunderschön, V-Line 2582 out of 25 right, climbing surface.
V-Line 2582, frame radar identified, climb flight level 160.
160, V-Line 2582.
Okay, I expect he might cut us short. Let's do 2,000 feet a minute. And after all, even if we don't get the continuous descent right, we are the Air Force already, who's supposed to complain to us. Do they want to send us our colleagues up? Guess that wouldn't make that much of a difference.
In 2127, go ahead.
HOTAS, does the TCAS work? That's a good question.
Yes, but you can reduce the 250 knots begleiter.
I mean, we do see a target over there, and we have one to go.
And I believe 2127, turn left.
So we do see a target over there. Would be interesting to, on purpose, fly into one of them to see if the TCAS works, but we can't do that on Patron, of course.
German Air Force 516, speed 220 knots, descent 5,000 feet, QNH 1033, maintain present heading.
German Air Force 516, speed 220 knots, descent 5,000 feet, and say again the QNH, maintain present heading.
German Air Force 516, QNH 1033.
QNH 1033, German Air Force 516. And
Lanka
set
1123, climb frame radar identified, climb flight level 160.
So let's do a first check.
Yoke 80
Frequencies
Victor, proceed
109.9. Rings have many courses 245 items.
And V-line 258,
Check and
proceed direct up
the
to.
course is 245.
Correct, up to.
Approach checklist. Signs
And Lufthansa 2 Papa Whiskey,
on.
proceed direct
Briefing
on.
confirmed. Ecom status checked. Altimeters 1033. Set.
Lufthansa 2 Papa Whiskey, proceed direct on.
Minimums.
Line
345,
contact
ignition.
radar 124, decimal 175.
Off. Landing elevation 200 feet set. Approach checklist complete.
Evelyn 2127, turn left lane 30, descent 3000 feet.
Regarding the TCAS question we had earlier on,
Evelyn
note that the TCAS in the 310 is part of the vertical speed indicator. You don't see it on the navigation display, but on here.
German Air Force 516, descent 4000 feet.
German Air Force 516, descent 4000 feet. Set.
And
Hold on, feet check.
aeronautic 1213, descent level 60.
60 for the status at 1213.
It's funny how the controller insists calling the Raditz Air like aeronautics or something.
And during 80 Victor Kilo, contact claim radar 124, decimal 175.
Yannick, you're a German FO, you can do everything. Well, does that include the French Alps?
Sri Lanka 1123, proceed direct ASA.
Luis, how can I get some other liveries like FedEx? Have a look into the InniBuilds manager.
2127, turn left 280,
Over in the InniBuilds manager there are a lot of liveries available, and on flightsim.to you can find many as well. So the number of liveries is really growing. Alton, why does this have a weather radar and the PMDG doesn't? That's quite easy, because the weather radar in this one is...
German Air Force 516, turn right heading 160, and speed 200.
German Air Force 516, right heading 160, speed 200.
Aeronautica 1213, descent 5000 feet, unit 1033, maintain present
And
heading.
here we'll go direct to Google.
5,000
Insert.
feet, speed 220, say again the N7 heading and say again the QNH.
Aeronautica 1213, QNH 1033.
1033, rather pair 1.
So, about the weather radar. The radar we have in here is a really, really basic one, so it is not a realistic weather radar. That's the reason why something works in here and not in the PMDG. You only have that 2D
And
bitmap generator here.
turn right heading, stand by for a second. And Evelyn 2127 contact,
Okay,
tower 18.
then we don't turn right. Probably trying to take us through the localizer because there is someone else rather close.
And German 516, turn right heading 220, cleared out the port from the 255.
German Air Force 516, right lane 220, clear German Air 25 route. Okay.
1 Lima Tango Bremen radar identified, descent flight level 60, expect alle support
Approach is armed.
5 right information, Oscar current.
Got 3.
Sending 6,000 feet, expecting IRS 25.
Localizer alive, lock star.
And lot 1, stop.
And 6,006, flight level.
Okay. Flats
And Sri
15.
Lanka 1123, contact claim radar 124, decimal 175. German Air Force 516, speed 170 knots or greater until 5 knots final.
German Air Force 516, 170 knots or greater until 5 knots, and for your information, our final approach is going to be 120 knots.
Good evening, Italian Air Force 001, level 120.
Italian Air Force 001, Bremen radar identified, expect alle support runway 25, flight information, Oscar current.
So that speed is holding nicely, then we'll just keep it in the flat setting where it currently is.
And runway 125 right, ILS, Italian Air Force 001.
German Air Force 516, contact tower 120, 025.
120.025, German Air Force 516.
Aeronautica 121T, turn right heading 1...
Hello, German Air Force 516 Heavy, ILS 25 right.
German Air Force 516 Golden Hurdle, this is calm, runway 255, clear to land.
25 right, clear to land, German Air Force 516. Cabin crew, please take your seats for landing. Okay, so for the earlier question, you can see here, the GCAS definitely works. Okay, auto throttle off, autopilot off, let's do a bit of manual flights. Okay, 5 miles, gear down, lap 15. So, final approach, and the speed is going to be 124. Laps 20. Brake arms. Laps 30. Landing checklists. Landing gear, down 3 green, auto brake, low, anti-skid, checked, slats flaps, 30 and 40, and spoilers on, landing checklist complete. Then, let's see, my first manual landing. Let's see how that's gonna work out. The plane flies pretty nice, so this has to become a good one. And Cornelius, I am flying with Yoke. I'm using the Thrustmaster Boeing Yoke right now.